behind every thesis is a story of questions, pressure, persistence, and discovery. Welcome to Behind the Thesis with Yvonne Shabangu, where we unpack the real story behind research and thesis writing. From late-night writing sessions and supervisor feedback to breakthrough moments and academic wins. This podcast is all about the journey behind the pages. If you are a student, researcher, or academic trying to make sense of the thesis process, you are in the right place. Welcome.
You are welcome to the very first episode of Behind the Thesis. And today I'm seated with a friend of mine, Lwazi, who is a doctorate candidate, a doctor of law candidate, but yeah, she is an aspiring doctor of law. So today we are going to engage in the process of choosing a topic, choosing a supervisor, and writing tools and some of the research databases that you can utilize to make your research process very easy. Welcome, friend.
Thank you.
Ask us guys about informal. This is my friend.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's such an honor to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. We're going to start with quick icebreakers.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome.
I appreciate it.
So firstly, if you were to be going on a desert, what's the one item that you would take and why?
I think my phone.
Okay.
I think it's because, if I get to communicate and also less boredom maybe.
Okay.
But I think the phone, then I can keep in touch with the world.
Okay. What's your worst food combination? If people were to catch you eating it, you'd be ashamed.
Okay, I'll go back. University, I would say noodles.
Noodles, okay.
And mayonnaise.
And what?
I promise you.
Does it bang? Now I'm going to try it.
It bangs.
Literally.
To this day, I eat that.
Okay. I'll try it out and let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your dream destination? If you had unlimited budget, unlimited leave days, where would you go?
Paris.
Why?
I think City of Love. I'm a lover of love.
Okay.
I've wanted to go there. I wish to go there one day.
Mm-hmm.
That is my dream destination.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into it, right?
Okay.
Guys, I'm friends with serious people.
You're not wasting time.
She's an attorney trainee, but outside of that, she is a doctorate candidate at the University of Johannesburg. And before you start saying I call you J people only, I get you guys don't want to come to my podcast. Jokes, guys. There are some people from other universities. I think there is a guest we're going to have from UP and in a completely different faculty. So Stay with us, right? So, friend, I want you to take us through the day you decide to go for your doctorate. What was the reasoning behind that?
So I've always wanted to do my doctorate.
Okay.
I think since LLB, and then, the marks were good, everything was fine. I'm like, okay, it's the challenge. I've always wanted to do it, honestly. Then masters. So that was just a thing for me from the get-go.
Okay.
It was part of the plan from the get-go.
Okay, you have changed your topic. I know this is your story to tell, but you've changed topics about 3-4 times. I want you to tell us the importance of choosing the right topic and what are some of the elements to consider when choosing a topic.
Okay, so I think with a topic, personally, maybe it's because of my experience.
Yeah.
I think you have to choose something that you love, right? And that is what they would advise you from the get-go. Choose something you love. And most people tend to, from masters like me, if you did your master's thesis in a certain topic, you think, oh, I want to expand on this. But with a doctorate, because now a doctorate is it's many years, 7-6 years. So you need to have the energy to do it. So you need to do something that you love outside of whatever you've done. So I think that is what people need to consider. And if anything, I think they need to also, besides something that you love, they need to just read on things and what interests them, because you might think you love this or you might think you want this, only to find out is there material in that field, things like that. Or when you read upon something like, oh, this is what is happening now, it's the trend. Do I want to do this? So maybe read up more on things before you even decide that, because it changes. Okay. That is what I would advise.
And then how did you pick your supervisor? She's heard about 4 or 5, so I even know kuluma. But yeah, tell us your also there before we go into the supervisor chat, right? Because maybe they'll think you're changing topics because you're a quitter or something. But I want you to give us an insight on why you were changing topics.
Okay, so it also answers the question of, how many times I've changed supervisors and why.
Yes.
So initially, I wanted to do a topic based on what I enjoyed doing my master's, because I did my master's in commercial law, so I had insurance, interpretation of contracts, and banking as sort of majors, right? So I enjoyed insurance. I passed it well. I thought it was a cool thing to write on, right? So when I got a topic, because when you get into your doctorate, sometimes it's not like you have a full on plan or idea. You just have, you have an idea, but not a plan or a proposal.
Yeah.
So when I got the idea, I shared it with who was also so when I was a tutor, she was a lecturer. So she was nice. I mean, so she was also teaching insurance. So I knew her. So I was like, I want to write on this, which was insurance. That's how I got to choose it, because I enjoyed it doing masters. But now, when you have an idea, you bounce off the idea, you read on it. Only to find that my topic is insurance and contracts, because I'm interpreting insurance clauses.
Okay.
So now there's like 2 things, 2 separate fields now of law. So I had associated to rope in another contract lecturer to be my co-supervisor for that thing. But now, like I said, it's an idea. So the more you think about the idea, the more you read on it or try and come up with a proposal, that's when it changes.
Okay.
Because you might think you want to do, at that time it was COVID. So you're thinking, okay, at that time the problem was most, during COVID, some people raised claims. But then the question was, during COVID, can you raise a claim for COVID as a problem? Is it like is a force majeure, that type of thing? Where,
yes, an unforeseen circumstance. Yeah.
Yes, right. That friend, living there, friends. But that, yes. So can you claim is COVID part of that? Because before, no one thought of COVID.
Yes.
So that was the problem there. So now when you start reading and writing, we are past COVID now. It's not the thing anymore. That's how I found myself changing, topics, changing everything, because there was no material even on that. So you can't, with the thesis is either they say, no, but this is too broad. What are you writing on? Or, something like that. So that is the reading now. It comes into that. I read about it, even, bounced off with the supervisors. Were like, this won't work.
Yeah.
Then I got to be full on contract now. So because now it's full on contract, she had to go, because now she can't supervise me because it's not insurance. It's not a field. Now I'm on contract, interpreting something again. Then I need a jurisprudence lecturer, because who is it meta in that field, because we're interpreting something. That is jurisprudence. So now I need jurisprudence and contract. I had to bring in someone again from that field. And then I had 2 supervisors. That's my 3rd supervisor. But then she had to leave, unfortunately. The one who was dealing with contract, my main topic. And then I had to get someone else again, because she was leaving UJ, so I had to replace her supervisor. Then I got to my 4th supervisor. But yeah, that's how it worked.
Okay, so you mentioned getting all of these supervisors. How were you approaching them? Were you just walking into the office like, hi, my name is Lwazi, I need a supervisor? What was the thought process around that?
I think they helped me a lot. They helped me. Because I approached the first one. But as I got the other supervisors, it was with the help of the first supervisor. So she would discuss and be like, I think this person is, you can bring this person on board. Just speak to her, and then I'll also help you. Or I'll speak to her for you if you want. So then you can email and be like, this is my topic, I'm interested in bringing you, or can we talk, Then that's how it worked. It wasn't really strenuous, I'm not going to lie. It was just a swift into getting those other supervisors on board.
Okay. So there's a part in your journey where you work on a full proposal. You're done. And you're told, this is not going to work. Tell us more about that and the reasoning, so that a person can draw lessons, and also some other things to consider when you do a proposal.
So I think what I learned is mostly, you get those guidelines. I noticed this is mostly dependent on the supervisor.
Okay.
I think if you know your supervisor, it's going to be easy, because if they okay something, then they can take it forward. So I worked on something without knowing exactly what my supervisor wanted. I was following guidelines.
Wait a minute. So you worked on a proposal without bouncing it off with your supervisor?
We worked on this for a year.
Okay.
So we would bounce the ideas, like, okay, do this, fine. But the writing, right, because it was an idea. So she was like, because before you have a full-on topic, then you're like, okay, write on this. Let's see what you want to say. Put it on paper.
Yes.
Then I went and did that. Full-on proposal, got advice from people who've done it before. Like, a proposal is structured like this, do this. I did that.
Yeah.
Then when I took it to her, also because supervisors think of their own things or whatever was happening. But when I sent it to her, she read it and she was like, I think this is too broad. Oh, no, this won't work because it's been written on here. Or this is what is happening. There's another problem. You don't know if something has been written on before, right? Then that's how I got to.
I want us to linger there. Now, there's something that my supervisor said to me the first time we had a first conversation, and I think it's a very important lesson. So it's very important that you read literature review, and I think now it's beautiful that we have AI, right?
Yes.
So you can literally prompt it correctly, guys, correctly prompt it, right? Or maybe have a paid feature that does the most, please, because hey, AI can do wonders.
Yeah.
So then have it pull out things that have been written on in that subject, and then also have it pull out the predominant authors within that discipline. So if you're writing on, let's say, for instance, it's in labor, then it will pull out labor authors and it will tell you their thought processes about the thing that you want to write on. But make sure that you've read. And then also there's this particular database for different universities where you can go and check.
Yes.
In usually the last 10 years, because we know that within 10 years, a lot of changes have happened in the law. So check within the last 10 years, who has written on your topic and what have they written on? What have they covered before you actually write on it? Because I also had a situation where a guest was actually saying that they wrote a full-on proposal and all of that and submitted it. But then the supervisor was like, oh, shucks, somebody from UP just submitted their thesis now. So then she had to redo the whole thing. So make sure that you read and then you check the databases. Sorry to hijack your point. Yes, you can proceed.
Where was I?
So you were explaining why you think when you were told that you have to change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay. So that was the part. So it was very painful because I'd worked on this for months. So I had to change because of those reasons. Right?
So was this from your supervisor or from the committee?
Supervisor. Before it got to the committee.
All right.
Supervisor. Right. So that's why I'm like, it helps when you know what the supervisor wants. So I got to a point where I kept writing. I think I have about 4 proposals. Different topics.
Serious?
I promise you. And it takes months to write that thing. It was draining for me. I didn't give up. I mean, because I was like, you know what? I have to do this. But she would be like, this can't work. Or this is too broad. Your topic is too broad.
And what does it mean when a person says topic is too broad?
I think it's because with a thesis, from my understanding, you need to narrow it to a specific thing. Like, for example, you can't have a topic that when someone reads, it's criminal law, labor law.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. Or it's about maybe interpretation of contract clauses. What clauses? What are you interpreting? But you need to limit it to maybe interpretation of the Pacta Sunt Servanda clause. Now that is narrow and you're focusing on a certain thing.
Yeah.
So that is what happened. It was very painful, but I think I just had the motivation to do it at that time, and I was very flexible. So I was like, let me just do this. But finally it was done. The day she was like, this topic could work.
You're so excited.
Let's do this thing. I proposed like, yes, this could work. Now let's expand the proposal.
Okay.
I was very happy. But we got to that point.
So after you expanded the proposal, then you had to submit it to the committee. How was that process like? Did you have any revisions from the committee? What was the feedback?
I did. So when we submitted, the feedback was mainly the sources. So they see the proposal, the topic is fine, they okayed the topic, which is my main worry. But then they were like, the sources are sort of, I have a few sources I need to like expand and see. Because I think with the proposal, you need to make sure it has been written on. So when you submit your proposal, have many sources to back it up. And be like, this one is saying this is what is happening, these are the sources, I read this. So the material was mainly the issue, but that could be easily fixed. It was not much revision. I did that in like a week or two.
So did you have to fix and then send it back?
I had to fix it and send it back.
Okay.
And then when the committee sat down, then they okayed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long was that process of waiting for the committee to approve?
So I could be lying, but my understanding is the committee, I think they sit down if 3 times, if not 2, either between 2 to 4 times a year. So they set dates. And then when you submit your thing, your supervisor submits it, right? Then it's on the agenda for that sitting, for the next sitting. So if I submit in March and the next sitting is in July, I wait till July.
Okay.
If I submit in July beginning and the sitting is in that month, then lucky enough it goes there.
Okay.
So I think if someone needs to know, then when does the committee sit for that year? So that you can align your things with that, so you don't wait a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. And then what are some of your go-to databases for research that you think every person writing their thesis or dissertation must know about, must be using?
Okay, so I use almost every database because I'm lucky to. So my best friend worked at the library. She's also doing her doctorate. She's about to finish. So I am lucky enough to be with someone who actually taught me those things. You know, sometimes we have first year, they teach us how to use these databases, but we don't take it serious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think the main ones would be Juta.
Okay.
Would be, I use Juta, I use Lexis, even Hein Online, because it is old sources. Like you get like things that were published in 1988, which I use mostly. Even though there is worst something that is like international sources. Those are the 4 main that I use, but I think Juta or even Sabinet.
Okay, yes.
But
Sabinet.
also I've noticed people shouldn't limit themselves. Google Scholar, as much as we're not taught about that, that helps a lot because you find many sources there, and then but you won't be able to open them. Then you can go to the databases to find that actual source.
Okay.
But it's a good platform to also get. Then Safli with the cases, but yeah, those are the main things that I use.
Okay, what are some of because I mean we can't run away from it. AI is now part of it, part of us. What are some of the AI tools that you utilize to make your research process easy?
I hope my supervisor won't listen to this because next thing I'll be looking at my work like, girl, where did you get this information? But I mean, we can't run away from AI. I think we just have to use it wisely.
Yes.
Obviously, don't plagiarize.
Yes, don't copy and paste, guys.
Yes, or ask you to write things for you. But I mean, I use so Grammarly, right? Usually offers that as
love
well,
Grammarly
because it corrects your work, and also you can it helps you. You know, sometimes when you put something there, you can even see if it says maybe it detects plagiarism, and then this is the same source, so you can get many sources by putting something there. Even Notebook LLM, I use that for sources. So what it does is when you're trying to read, sometimes we read many articles and cases, maybe you might not understand it, but you know it's relevant, or you can see it's relevant, but you're not getting the main theme, whatever it's happening. You can put it on Notebook LLM and be like, summarize this. So it summarizes, simplifies what the article or case is talking about, and then it references the pages. Like this is what it's saying, look at this page. So that you are sure that this is what it's doing. Then and then there's this one that you always ask, friend.
Which one? Quillipot?
Friend.
I can't even pronounce it properly. Guys, I love Quillipot. I love it so much.
You have an idea and you want to put it, but you need something to
so you know
it.
why I love Quillipot, right? I love because it has different styles of writing. So it has modern, it has luxury or whatever. Then it has academic. So you would note that I always say this to people. how I speak in a season tells you what I've been reading, who I've been hanging around with. So when I hang out with litigators, I start speaking. You know how litigators say, yeah, please send same copy, same in.
Yeah,
And,
same attached.
Yes, right. But then now with academic writing is completely different from corporate writing.
Yeah.
You can want to say something, and in corporate writing, it's one sentence. But then when you translate it into academic writing, it's 5 sentences. Because then you also need to tear it apart, make sure that the scholars understand and all of that. So that's why I really love Quillipot. Guys, if you can, pay for Quillipot. It's really a nice to have.
Yeah.
And then I want us to go, recently we're having a chat about writing style, right? So you and I had this traditional way of doing things, like having a counter book, writing in the exam pad, and then recently you're telling me that you figured out that's not how it works. So tell us, for people that are young writers or people that are writing their thesis, what's the best method to go about writing, like the actual writing part, and also compiling information from the sources you read into your writings?
Okay, so I think I'll just say what someone who's about to submit their doctorate and someone who submitted and actually passed told me. Everyone's style is very different. You have to do what works for you.
Yeah.
But what worked for me was no. So my first, because now I'm on chapter 4, right? So the first chapters, the proposal through 2, 3. What I used to do was I would read, because it worked for me, research, read, and then write.
Okay.
But now you're looking at one chapter that is like 50 pages. So imagine what that looks like when you're writing. I write, and then after that, I type. I give myself like a week, like this is the typing week. I type essentially what I wrote down. And that, because even my husband is like, bro, like, no way.
You're moving slow.
You are moving slow because you are repeating things. You research, and that time you're using a laptop and a computer to research and do whatever, and then you're writing with a pen. Why not just take that information and type it?
Yes, in real time.
Like, no, you know the thought process, but it's like, but you have a structure. Because before you write, you have a structure. 3.1 is going to be this, 3.2, like that. So if this thing is relevant, it also helps you, because if this thing is relevant to 3.3, you write it under 3.3, and then you go back, then you can rearrange your work after. You know, it was very bad. Then I noticed, no, what I'm doing is I'm doing twice the work. I'm taking longer. Like, instead of finishing this in a month, I finish in 3 months because of this thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, so you were writing it down, typing it, and then going back to reference.
You see, that's the thing. I spent...
Now you're writing 3 doctorates.
Let me tell you, even this chapter that I submitted, I spent about a week doing footnotes.
Shucks.
Bro, they were even calling me footnote lady, because there is no way I can be doing footnotes for a week. Why?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Thing, it's not working. I would advise anyone who writes and then types to not do it. It doesn't work, because you can literally research whatever you want to write. Type it out, because that way you save yourself. You also footnote write, because you do it immediately. Because imagine now I have to write even the footnotes. I'm writing them down. So now I'm typing,
and then
I'm
you have to go back and type
something I can't even see, or I can't even remember like
what you were trying to write, and then you're probably half asleep, and then you're like, what? I didn't mean this.
And I need to research again, because now when I'm doing bibliography, it's not just the surname of the author. I need to find the initials. So I go back again, and it's like, no,
it's a lot of work.
So that is the style that I would recommend. Read and write. Type, not write. Okay, actually type. You research whatever you want to do. Type it out. Okay, you'll be fine. Yeah,
I love that so much. Right. So yeah, again, it's very important for you to be self-aware. Find what works for you. What has been your favorite chapter to write, and your worst chapter?
Proposal was my worst, because that thing was like a year to 2 years. That was like my worst to write. But I think the favorite was history. Because really, history is theory. There was nothing I could add. There was nothing. I mean, there's no my 2 cents there.
Yes.
It's the history of contract law, because I'm doing my thing in contract. So that was...
Is that your chapter 2?
Yes, that's my chapter 2. Find sources or whatever that speaks to history, because I can't add anything. I can't change history. It's there. Whatever is written is what I'm doing. So that was my favorite. This one, chapter 3, was the worst, because now... I'm analyzing, I'm doing this. It is a lot.
You're criticizing.
And that is my main one. My main topic is actually in chapter 3. That is where the deconstruction is. That was my worst chapter.
But at least you've crossed the bridge, right? You're now in chapter 4.
Wait for the comments.
Oh, you're waiting for the...
Now I'm on chapter 4, but I'm waiting for the comments. I'll see how it goes, but that was my worst.
Okay. And what is your best place to write at? Where do you enjoy writing?
So I'm not one to choose places, to be honest. I think as long as the place is like quiet and I can have the place to myself, that's fine. Anyway, okay, lately it's been somehow my husband's gaming desk.
Wow.
Now we have to fight about that because like that is the place actually, and then he lets me do it though because I don't know if it's his table or whatever it is or his chair, but right now that is the best space for me to write. And also I think the way it is, the sunlight, it just comes, so I just connect with nature from the way it's placed, and that works for me.
Okay. You know, my favorite place to write it is a cafe, guys.
How?
I enjoy cafes because it makes me feel like Emily in Paris or something like that. So I deliberately go out of my way to find cute spots where I can sit and write. Really?
No, I think I'll be, I don't know, looking at people. I'm easily distracted.
Serious. I'm those people, I can leave the house at 8 in the morning and come back at 6 p.m. So for breakfast, I'll go sit elsewhere. For lunch, I'll go sit elsewhere. If I'm having dinner out, I'll go sit elsewhere. By the time I come back home, I jump into bed or I just scroll, literally.
Wow. I'll try that.
And then what has been the most pivotal moment of your research journey?
Honestly, I think I haven't seen one, right?
Okay.
But I think I've learned from this entire journey, because I'm yet to experience things. But what I've learned is, before you start the journey, I was told and advised that this journey is not. I was told, like, you know what, if it gets hard, reach out, don't be alone. I didn't understand. I was like, I'm young, straight from masters, I can do this, that's fine. And then I only got to realize that no, actually, man, this is draining, right? So, and everything. So I haven't gotten to that moment where I'm like, okay, this is the pivotal part of my research or whatever it is, because I've been struggling, I've been fighting, I've been trying to stay afloat, because working, you have a 9 to 5, you come back home, you need to do this, because if you don't do it and you live it, up 2 months, 3 months, you won't do anything. So I've been constantly trying to do that and trying to find myself and everything. So I'm still waiting to see.
You're waiting to see the light.
The light, because right now, as it is, I'm like, I'm picking up the pieces, but also that's okay, because there's progress in that. There is really progress in that. Now I'm on chapter 4. The journey is just like the journey, something we can talk about.
Yeah.
But it's just
I love that, friend. I see the light for you. Remember the other day I was telling you how I feel like you're probably going to graduate sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Because you're here like, oh, I want to take a break.
Taking the month off. April is off.
Yeah, so we're about to close now. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. How long do you take? So I want you to tell us how long it takes you to write chapters, and then in closing, a word of encouragement to a person that is going through their research and thesis journey right now. Okay,
so a chapter I take about 3 months. Okay. That is the plan that I have. But usually it's in the 3 months I have, I'm fixing the previous chapter, and I'm working on the next chapter, and then there's time for me to breathe. So 3 months makes it when work is hectic and I can't do anything, that's fine. When this is this and I can't. So everything has to be done in 3 months.
Okay.
And it works, because usually I see it takes a month. If I focus every day, it's a month for me to finish a chapter. So I have time to fix, I have time to do everything. And then my advice to someone who's doing this, will be, it's gonna get draining. Don't take it lightly. It will get draining.
Yeah.
But I like that. Or I would advise you to have a community.
Yeah.
Have support. Don't do it alone. Have a friend who you're going to call when it gets tough. Or someone who's going to hold you accountable. Like what me and you do. Sometimes you call, friend, my thesis, blah, 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 blah. And then it's a wake-up call for you to do it if you haven't been doing it. Or if you're struggling, reach out to people who've done this. Do it. Have a community. Have people. When you have someone who understands, who supports, and who shows up for your journey, it takes the load off. Like I have a community, I have friends, I have a partner who shows up, I have family, you know, things like that. Those things help me be able to put it together and do this. That's why it's our doctorate, not your own.
Yeah.
So I would advise, have a community. You can't do this alone. Have support. It's going to drain. It's going to be a lot. But if there's someone who shows up for you, if there's people who are like, we support you. If you need this, I'll come to the cafe with you. I'll sit with you. I'll do my things. You do your writing. So you need that.
Okay.
That's what I would advise.
Thank you so much, friend, for honoring my invite. To everybody at home, I hope you learned something today. My biggest takeout from this conversation is that it's very important to have a community. It's very important to plan. And it's also very important to give yourself grace. It is going to get hard. It is going to get tough. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Tell us your stories in the comment section. How is your research journey going? How did you pick your supervisor? Why did you choose your topic? See you in the next episode.